Hey everyone! Welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we're going to see the problems that come with Gear 5. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. As you all know, in the current moment, Luffy's in serious trouble. After awakening his fruit, he's back at fighting the Yonkuo, and so he needs to look elsewhere to find suitable power-ups. For example, two of the best hits that Luffy got on Kaido were actually on Gear 3 with advanced armament haki, and now the Gear 5 is giving Kaido some trouble. Luffy is already defeated, but not dead. All the Straw Hat crews would already be imprisoned in Impel Down, since they would never leave their captured captain alone. Luffy has learned to use advanced observation haki, but I don't think he has completely mastered it yet. In fact, the three admirals are pretty sure users of advanced observation haki as well. It is certainly true that his fighting style before the time skip hurt Luffy. Gear 2 in particular forced his body to pump out blood and nutrients faster than most people could handle. After a certain point, his body would have burned something for energy, which would hurt his lifespan. Gear 3 and Gear 4, for the most part, don't seem to have these flaws. They have their drawbacks, but they aren't cutting into Luffy's lifespan. But if he doesn't improve, and he keeps challenging people that are much stronger than him, without better plans, he'll die. He got pretty lucky against Big Mom, but as we saw with Luffy against Kaido, his recklessness will get him killed if he doesn't learn to rein it in. But if Luffy's fighting style got him killed before he got to Laughter Island, this would be a very different manga. People would be outraged. So I am confident that no, Luffy will not die because of his fighting style. We could assume that Luffy would not just die, which would be the most predictable way to end a play. Sure, kill Luffy and the rest will go after him. However, keep in mind that as much as the early stages of the series have a good amount of foreshadowing, having a goal not be met in a team at one point would leave the series more lacking than several other anime and manga that had significantly fewer episodes. Does the overuse of Luffy's gear perhaps teach Luffy the importance of saving energy? I say that as a question. As we all probably know, Luffy is not good with doing that at times, but Luffy not getting to Laughter Island will not be a stopping point for the series as a whole. Luffy being significantly weaker at that point is very inevitable, as Gear 4 alone has a good amount of disadvantage to its use anyway. Think of it this way, every time you do something unhealthy, you are technically taking a fraction of a second off your life, in the sense that you are increasing the risk of cancer, heart attack, etc. Huge amount of strain on Luffy's body, which in turn means that his life expectancy is shorter than average. That being said, there have been people with terminal illnesses who were given a month to live and continue to ride in trucks for decades. The same may be true for Luffy. Leaving that speech aside, I think you raise a good point. A chef's main job is to keep his team healthy. We've seen that Sanji can do more than that and rejuvenate the vitality of his Nakama. Learning a recipe from Ivankov that would allow him to help people passively heal themselves from old injuries not only help Luffy, but also other injured crew members. I think it's a good turning point to use later on in the series finale, but it'll probably be like the case when Gold B. Roger had an incurable death, or side effect of Ivankov's hormone back to the downward thrust. So maybe he turns himself into the Marines too, like Roger, because he could see the end of his journey. I don't know, I could be wrong. It's alright to speculate, but I'm giving you some of my knowledge. Remember Roger's inherited will? He's waiting for someone to fulfill it. And Rayleigh said when they were inside that when they entered Raftel, that they were a little ahead of schedule, and that they rushed all things, unlike the Straw Hats, who take things slowly. I was pointing out that after Luffy becomes the pirate, the story will not end. He can write and read poneglyph for him, and they read everything. So I'm certainly confident that they knew the Void Century, and for the whole world to know, they should have a good strength in numbers, because it's obvious that the world government, it did wrong in that period. Do you think Roger dominates the world? He only dominates the seas, not the world. To accomplish that, he needs to defeat Gorosei, and Oda has hinted that the ending is a war that makes Marineford look like child's, which means it's a big world war. I think the war will be against the world government, Gorosei, Marines, Akunu, Boss Pirates, Blackbeard, Kid, etc. versus Straw Hat, including their new fleet, Ref, Army, Kobe, El Mipo, Akuji, Smoker, Shank. Every island that Straw Hat has visited is indebted to them. All the good pirates who want to change. It's like a co-op, because Oda likes history. I hope I helped and gave an idea. That wouldn't make sense though. How would Ivankov not know that Dragon was a father if he helped him go through an entire pregnancy before trading him back in? Or even if he didn't help Dragon while she was pregnant, then why wouldn't he suspect that Dragon mysteriously disappeared for 9 months or more right after being turned into a woman? So I have this super legitimate theory that Nami, Boa, Viola, Shirayoshi, and pretty much every woman in One Piece were at one point or another able to permanently change someone's gender right there, with them begging and pleading him not to do it. And then telling them it was what they wanted. Oda dropped a lot of foreshadowing about Luffy's health failing at some point, and it would be very cheap for Oda if it didn't become an issue by the epilogue. So, with the final saga coming after Wano, I think it'll be very soon, like right after the Kaido fight, that Luffy's health will start to decline. It's probably not a disease like Roger had. His body would probably start to wear down prematurely due to wear and tear. I'm thinking that Chopper will probably find that his organs are all worn out and in terrible condition, and will probably have to try to do something before it's too late. Does the Gear 2 still affect his health? I always assumed it did, just as Gear 3 doesn't make him smaller as an after effect, just as his body is now strong enough to handle Gear 2. But anyway, he'll probably come close to dying young, but I think Law or Chopper would save breaking Roger's parallel. His body has probably gotten used to it, but the effects from before are still there, while he won't survive his crewmates. It definitely won't be like Roger's illness. I predict it'll show him aging faster than the others, so it'll still be a natural death, just abnormally faster. So somewhere in the 60s or 70s, so his crewmates will definitely outlive him. It'll also follow the pattern of how Roger also died early. So that's another parallel between Luffy and Roger, like the numerous things we see in the story. I don't think Gear 2 had any long-term effect. Lucci said the overuse of Gear 2 caused Luffy to die during battle because it made him burn energy faster. Luffy pretty much overcame this by concentrating Gear 2 on a single limb. It's a shame that Toei still makes him full of Oompa Loompa post-its. That's a good question I want to know too. I just assumed that his body has outgrown the effects of Gear 3. It doesn't seem to tire him out anymore. Anyway, that's it, my Mugiwara. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for a future video, don't forget to comment below, because I'll be reading them all, as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your favorite pirate crew.